everyone, welcome to the Halo Forge Epidemic. This is Oakley HiDef, and I'm here to bring you part 2 in the series, How to Build an Invasion Map. Now, in part 2, we're going to be talking about beefing up your defenses by creating buildings. Now, when you're building a building, you want to make sure you're taking advantage of the terrain. So in this case, I'm going to look from bird's eye view and try and gauge where I want my structures. So I can see there's this dirt path here going around this central hill, so I'm going to utilize that. I'm going to build my bunker right here on this hill for two reasons. One, to force players to follow the dirt path, which seems more natural. And then two, is to use the slopes of the hill to kind of move upwards into the bunker, also making that look more natural and make it look like it's built into the ground. So the first step is to throw down your base. So there you go. I've built it right here, right where I want it. Now that you have the base, you want to throw up some walls, and I recommend using brace larges, either tilted or straight up. So there you go. I've thrown some on the sides. You want to keep stuff at an angle to make it look sleek. And then after that, you can stick some going straight up for the low walls, and then you add the windows. Now, for the same reasons as before, we talked about the walls. You want to keep your bunker low. Now, next step is throwing up some more walls. There you have it. And what you want to do is keep it about player height, use different blocks, and then you want to block off the area here which had the grass. Now throw on the roof, and there you go. So you can use brace larges once more to give it that nice clean look, and there you go. It's pretty easy. So now, as you can see over here, I've got some gaps. What I'm going to do is add some details to make it so you can walk into the bunker without having to bump or jump. And then so there you go. As you can see, this is now smooth. You can walk into the bunker easily. And over here I added some aesthetic pieces, which I'll be talking about later. Now, for the next structure, I'm going to build it here once more in the cliff. So what I recommend doing for big structures is using wall coliseums. There you have it. It's going to be a 2-floor building here with the first one at this level. Then I set the back wall and this curved, or this slanted wall. Then I'm going to build up the skeleton of this base, again using brace larges and decorative pieces and walls, and doors, excuse me. Then I'm going to throw on the roof. So now you go. You have the skeleton of my structure. And the next thing I'm going to do is try and make it so you can go from the middle floor to the top floor. So I build a staircase. You could easily build a ramp, but I find a staircase is less used, and therefore it makes your map more interesting. Now, you can see on the right there are some gaps again, so I'm going to build a platform and some ramps over here, and also over here. You see it looks a little ugly, so I'm going to add some details. There you go. So that's the quick fly through of how to build 2 buildings. Now I'm going to go back through in detail. So this bunker, I already told you why I built it here, and now we're going to talk a little bit more about the details. So you want to keep it low to the ground for the same reasons that you want to build your initial walls lower to the ground. It's because you don't want it to be overpowered. You want the attackers to be able to kind of scale it, move over it and around it, and then you want this bunker to be kind of compact. Now, as you can see through this window, you have a pretty good shot at the gate, but I've made it in such a way that it's not overpowering. You can't look too far to the right, too far to the left. And also the low wall comes in handy now. Once the attackers kind of push the defenders back and the defenders are in here, the attackers can actually hide behind that low wall. So it has a dual purpose to serve for the defenders at first and then the attackers at first. So it gives cover to both teams. Now, I think the important part of this bunker is what I had over here. Now I added the pipeline again, as I did before, to have some sort of thematic consistency, and that's important in your maps. Maybe this pipeline is connecting bunkers, maybe it's got more pipes in it, who knows, it doesn't matter. You always want to have implied design in your map. Now, over here, I could have just added a simple block or something, but I didn't. I wanted to make it a little more interesting. So, let me pull this apart for you quickly. So what I did was I threw on a block 1x2, simple enough, and one over here. Then what I did was I submerged this rounded circular ramp here, stuck it in here, and I had it so it's sticking out a little bit. And you want this because it adds a sleek look to anything you're building. It kind of ties it together, whereas if I were to keep just blocks, it would look a little too blocky and not necessarily very aesthetically pleasing. Now, this last piece that I added here, you may not be familiar with this, and that's probably because I'm only using 10% of the object. So there you go, I've actually used a sniper nest. That's what you want to do when you're forging. You want to use pieces, even if it's just like 5 or 10% of it, you can use all the different pieces of various forge objects just to accomplish one purpose. So here, I had this here because I like the look of it, and it kind of, it's kind of holding the outside of this blocks and covers it up and has a nice industrial sort of metallic look to it. So there you go. And then I threw an antenna up top. Now for the base back here, what you want to do is, as I stated before, you want to build your base with these wall coliseums. So the floor, the ramp here, and then the back wall. Now once you've done that, you want to kind of decide how you're going to build the inside of your base. How big do you want it? In this case, I wanted a relatively large area, which I can probably have spawning for the defenders, and then I sort of wanted a terrace here so you can kind of walk across without going on the floor. So I decided to build my wall a little bit into this first platform here. So what I want to do is talk to you guys a bit about the brace larges. These are very useful, and I recommend using them on any building. Yes, they're expensive, but it's the thinnest wall you can build besides normal walls, but I find these look much better. The normal blocks that people use for walls have glass in them, and they don't really look that great. These I find serve the purpose of making it look like a real bunker or a real building. So you can put them sideways or you can put them vertically. So that's what I've done here, and then I've used doors right here to make the entrances look a little better, and then I made a window up in the center. Now once again, you've got a pretty good line of sight, but I've once again blocked the line of sight of the defenders by building this bunker here. That way the attackers can hide first behind that wall over there, then behind this bunker here. So as they progress, I need to keep providing them with cover. Now, the next thing you saw me do was build this staircase. Now, if you're tight on budget, just feel free to build a ramp. It serves the same purpose, but on this map I wanted to make it a little more interesting. When you see a base, like in real life, we tend to build stairs, not ramps all over the place. So that's why I wanted to build a staircase, just to add a little bit more believability. So this is easy to make. What I did was I used various ramp pieces. I'll pull one out for you, like that. And then I used edit coordinates. I put one at the top. Then the next one I had sticking one unit out and one unit down. So you'll keep doing that and stagger it all the way down. And then what you can do is add some more brace larges on the side to act as a railing. Now the only problem with this is it's a little bumpy sometimes. When you're going up, you may tend to trip up. It's a little slow. So what you can do to remedy that is go to structures, building blocks, a large block. So I'm going to build a block 2x4, throw it on 15 degrees. And then what you can do, if it's a little bumpy, is you sort of merge this partially in, so it still looks like a staircase, but you got the underlying sort of ramp underneath, which will smoothen up any way up. So there you go. Now, I built up the rest of this bunker. I wanted it to be a little more spacious, so I built this stuff here on the right. This floor right here, it gives a nice color. I recommend using this on floors when you're out of walls or you want to make a smaller room. What it is actually a staircase. It's in platforms. It's a staircase turned sideways. So again, I'm just using one part of a larger object. And then I added this platform here and the one in the back. Now I want to keep this base having multi-levels. So first you got down here, then you got the first level, then I wanted some sort of half levels that people can stand on and shoot from, then you got the top level. Now, when you're building this base, of course you can add details. You want it to look like it's really a base. What I'm going to do is add a couple details. I think I'm going to throw some things here that'll look good, and also a player that's standing over there can use that to jump up onto the top level. So you want to turn it a little bit just to give it that look like it's being used. It's not a picture perfect. You want to turn all your objects slightly. And then I'm going to have another one here just to give some cover to people who are trying to stand outside and shoot. Actually, that's floating a little bit off the ground. There we go. And then, of course, you always want to use sandbags. These are very nice objects. A little expensive, $25, but you can probably afford them. It adds a lot to your map. So there you go. People can defend from there. And then I kind of want people on the roof shooting down. So what I'm going to do to encourage that is put some sandbags up here. Alright, and that's the basic idea behind building your structures. Use a base, then build it up with brace larges. That's what I recommend. Then gauge what type of roof you want. Here I knew I had to have a low roof. Over here I could make it a little bigger, so I beefed that up. It's like the height of a player and half. And then over here you saw me add a little more detail. It's really not expensive, but it helped cover up what I thought was a little ugly piece of the brace large sticking out here. So what I did was I added more to it to look like I had meant for that to happen. So this is a simple sort of antenna box. I put a block 1x2 here, another one sort of stuck inside, and that'll make the core of this addition. And then what I did was I added a ramp, inclined the circular pieces, stuck it here again to tie it together and give it sort of a more normal look to it. Yeah, when you have all blocky surfaces, it doesn't look great, so you want to throw in a rounded surface every once in a while. And I threw an antenna on top. So there you go. And another thing that I added was this platform here. I'm thinking that'll be a good place for defenders to hang out, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these caves yet, but we'll see. So that's about it for part 1. Thank you guys for watching. So that's about it for the first area of our defenses. The next video that I'm going to be doing is back here towards this the inland of the island, and that's going to be the meat of our base. So come back, subscribe, and watch our next video. Thank you. Signing out.